Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham, welcoming you to our 1000th episode. We began on with our first regular episode back on October 26, 2009, and now a little less than 45 months later, we're up to our 1000th show. It's been great, and appreciate all your support. And you can support the show at support.greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and become one of our friends on Facebook. Facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Now it's time to get into today's episode of Mr. Moto, Project 77.
This is Mr. Moto. Mr. I.A. Moto.
NBC presents the world's greatest international secret agent, Mr. I.A. Moto, the popular Japanese character created by Pulitzer Prize winner John P. Marquand. Across the world, from Japan to Jersey, from Cape Horn to Murmansk, Mr. Moto is fighting the evils of communism quietly, ruthlessly, courageously. Tonight's story, Project 77, starring Mr. Moto, Mr. I.A. Moto.
Commander Freier, it is so simple.
No.
The drawing board is here. Pencils, rulers.
No.
A few lines, and I will unchain you at once.
The answer is no. No.
Let us pray that your stubbornness
You
may be...
fraud. You colossal, stinking, hypocritical dirty.
No profanity, Commander. Please remember I am a minister of the gospel.
Tisdale, I'll get you for this. Someday I'll beat that sanctimonious face of yours and...
Turn on the sun lamp again, Katawa.
Yes, husband.
Thank you, my dear.
Listen up.
Commander, you look like a holiday in Miami. So terribly sunburned. Katawa, cool the commander with a little more vinegar.
Tisdale, for heaven's sake!
Commander Freier, if necessary, I will keep you under that sun lamp until your flesh can be flecked off and fed to the mountain birds. I always get what I want.
Do you?
Always. And I want Project 77.
The assignment on Project 77 began 2 feet in front of a jet motor, flying faster than sound. The roar of the jet never reached our ears as we streaked across the blue Pacific at 35,000 feet. I was being sent to Otaru, Japan, the land of my honored forefathers. As Otaru rushed up to meet us, looking white and serene beside the sparkling sea of Japan, I could see 200 miles away across the Tartar Strait, the gloomy coast of Russia. I had orders to report to Captain Thomas Stanley, the officer in charge of the United States Naval Experimental Station at Otaru. The station consisted of 2 United States destroyer escorts moored to a dock at the end of which nestled 6 gray Quonset huts. Captain Stanley, nervous and tense, was in his office in Hut A.
Commander Freier did not log aboard the night before last, Mr. Moto.
And he has not been seen since?
No.
He is entirely in charge of Project 77 here?
And anywhere else. Didn't you know that?
Yes, but I wondered if you did. When were you last at sea?
Commander Freier and I took the Shelton out 9 days ago.
To where?
Commander Freier wished to test 77 on the Tuscarora Trench.
The what?
The Tuscarora Trench. It's an awe-inspiring scene, Mr. Moto. There's a canyon on the floor of the sea just east of Japan. Our sounding apparatus indicated depths of over 5,000 fathoms.
5,000 fathoms?
Yes, almost 6 miles, yes.
Go on, Captain Stanley.
Even at this enormous depth, even straight down through 6 miles of water, 77 caused explosions at the bottom of the Tuscarora.
Then the tests have been successful.
Beyond our wildest dreams.
Really?
Yes. Even underwater, 77 traveled in excess of 200 miles an hour. It isn't a torpedo, it's an underwater bullet. Small, jet-propelled, with an atomic warhead, it will end submarine warfare. No submersible in the world can elude a guided missile traveling at that speed.
Captain Stanley, are you aware that certain details of Project 77 are already in the hands of foreign agents?
Mr. Moto, you're joking.
No.
But it's absolutely top secret.
In January, an associate of Commander Freier's named Lowell disappeared in Paris. He had one of the anisotropic crystals with him.
Then you think...
Yes, I believe Commander Freier is the missing link. Jet-propelled underwater missiles are in the arsenals of every nation in the world. The big obstacle, keeping the missile on its course underwater at these high speeds, is hurdled by the anisotropic crystal. Diagrams of the crystal and the exact wavelength figure exist only in 2 places, Washington and Commander Freier's head.
Then he is the only man in the Orient who could...
Exactly. All that the potential enemy needs to know is the figure 1 followed by a decimal point and 5 unknown digits. This figure, plus a drawing of the crystal, equals 77.
So that if Commander Freier were forced to talk...
The project would become the property of whomever he talked to.
Moto, what can we do? Commander Freier's my responsibility.
Who saw him last?
The officer of the deck saw him leave his laboratory in Hut B at 6:45.
The night before last?
Yes, it was the commander's habit to take a walk right after dinner every evening.
Ah, where?
Up the blossoming Shalimar along the Tsushima Road.
But wouldn't
we
that...
used to send a man along with him, but he insisted he could take care of himself. A missionary named Tisdale saw him pass.
Tisdale?
Yes, the Reverend James Tisdale, a Protestant missionary. He's a nice guy, not stuffy or anything like that. He has a mission up in the hills, married a native woman.
And he saw Commander Freier?
Go past the mission about 7:15 up into the hills. Freier waved and said good evening. He hasn't been seen since.
Then I will begin with the man who saw Commander Freier last. I shall invite myself to tea at the mission of the Reverend James Tisdale.
Mr. Moto, it is so refreshing to meet someone from the outside world.
Thank you, Reverend Tisdale.
I get lonely for informed conversation. More tea.
Thank you. It is delicious.
Katawa, tea, please. Mr. Moto, my wife is a Nina woman. She believes that a wife is a slave whose only duty is to serve her husband. She clings to her native customs and refuses to behave as my equal.
She is Christian?
No, I am leaving her conversion in the hands of the Almighty.
I bring the tea, Master.
No. And more little cakes, too. How thoughtful.
I will serve Mr. Moto first.
You should be honored, Mr. Moto. That is the first time she's ever done that.
But Mr. Moto is Japanese from America.
Thank you very much.
The tea cakes are surpassing delicacy.
Thank you.
It is my honor. Tea, Master?
No, thank you, dear. That's all.
Yes, Master.
You see what I mean? Sometimes I think all the mystery of the Orient is hidden in those beautiful jet eyes. And her hands, so languid, so elegant.
The breeding of uncounted centuries.
Yes.
And now, Reverend Tisdale...
Oh, yes, about Commander Freier. I am very upset. The natives here, as you may know, are Ainus.
Yes, I do know.
They once occupied the whole of Japan. There are only some 12,000 of them left now. Their situation is not unlike that of the American Indian at home. Basically, they are honest, and I believe that because of this, I can help you.
May I ask how?
The Ainus will talk to me where they would say nothing to an outsider. The country around here is wild and primitive, mostly hillmen, hunters. Many of them are bandits. Now, I suspect that a band of them somewhere in the hills have kidnapped Commander Freier and are holding him for ransom. I will ask about it at prayer meeting tonight.
You have a large parish?
No, only 400 converts in 3 years. But those who have embraced Christianity are fervent and sincere. If Commander Freier is anywhere in the district, someone in the congregation will come to me and tell me.
And when they do, you will contact me at the station, please.
Oh, at once, Mr. Moto, immediately.
You have been very, very kind, and this has been very, very pleasant. Commander Freier's disappearance is more urgent than it appears on the surface.
I will try to help in my humble way.
Then I shall leave you now, and thank you again.
It has been my pleasure, believe me.
Goodbye, Reverend Tisdale.
Goodbye, Mr. Moto. Choto, down cellar, quickly. And bring the straw and the needles. We have wasted enough time on Commander Freier.
Coming, Rita.
Now, really, Commander Freier, this has gone too far. It pains me deeply. You could be sold by the pound as raw beef. Now, will you do as I asked? Choto!
Because of my enormous stupidity, I could not at once lay my clumsy hands upon the straw and the needle.
Commander Freier is unconscious. A little vinegar will revive him. Quickly, Choto.
Yes, Rita.
Good. Now, Commander Freier, can you understand me? Can you hear me?
I won't do it.
Except for the method of keeping the missile on course, we have everything. I want the wavelength that excites that crystal and a diagram of the crystal itself. Now there is pencil and paper and a drawing board.
I won't do it. I mean it, Tisdale. You want to kill me, go ahead.
Choto, are you ready?
Does the barbarian understand?
Commander, Choto is an Ainu warrior. If you insist on being stubborn, he inserts that straw under your skin and blows you up, Commander Freier, until you burst. Like a balloon.
You fiend, you...
Go ahead, Choto.
Yes, Rita.
No, please. All right, I'll give it to you.
Ah, God has banished the stubbornness from your soul, unchanging, Choto.
Yes.
Hurry, Choto. Now, Commander. The figures, just 4 of them?
No, 5.
5 decimal points?
Yes.
1 point what?
1, 2, 3, 8, 7, 7.
Excellent. Now the drawing, quickly.
It's so hard for me to move.
Help him, Choto.
Yes, Master.
That's it. Are you comfortable, Commander? Good. Then draw the crystal.
Tisdale,
Commander, in an hour you can be back at the station.
have I your word?
A few lines on a piece of paper and you are free. I promise.
This, by this, convex, on a parabolic base, distance C, where must be exactly 1 wavelength for the radiation. B in phase.
Thank you, Commander. Choto?
Yes, Rita.
Listen carefully. Send a code cable to Comrade Kabalovsk in Vladivostok. He must get a plane to Otaru at once. Tell him I have obtained the last link in Project 77 and that I will deliver it to him tomorrow night at 7 in the Cafe of the Grinning Buddha.
I understand, Rita.
Good. Then I will prepare for prayer meeting. Commander Freier is unconscious again. Well, perhaps it is easier that way. Dispose of him. You can bury him somewhere in the hills.
Mr. Moto, you're wrong. Tisdale is a minister of the gospel. I'm as sure as I'm sitting here, he's on the level.
There should be a reply to my cable any moment now.
The man radiates sincerity and integrity.
I am sure the Reverend Tisdale gives an impression of great divinity. But Captain Stanley, he is a liar.
How? Tell me one thing he said.
You forget, Captain Stanley, that I speak Japanese as fluently as I do English. He told me he had 400 provisions. On my way home from the mission, I called on the peasants. They are simple people, good people. But, Captain Stanley, not once did I see a cross or a Bible. Not in a single home. These people are not being preached Christianity by Tisdale.
What does he preach?
I heard an old woman mutter, Kamenamichi, the way of the gods. These people are being preached a new Shintoism.
Shintoism?
With a new god to be worshipped, the god of communism. Tisdale tells them they are being exploited. The communists always work on minority groups, the oppressed, the poor.
Come in.
Table just came in, sir, from Mr. Moto.
Ah, thank you very much.
And there's something else, sir.
Just a moment, Mr. Lawson.
Ah, this is from the Board of Foreign Missions in Boston. No Protestant denomination has a resident missionary at the Tower. I was right?
I'm stunned. I can't believe Tisdale's a phony.
Excuse me, sir, there's another message.
Yes?
A coolie just brought this to the front gate of Hut C. It's from Mr. Moto, too.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. That's all.
Yes, sir.
I am so very, very pleased. Everything is progressing very, very well.
Mind telling me why?
This is from the Ainu woman. Tisdale's wife. I knew I was right. I knew I recognized her signal. Here, read it.
Right.
Oh, I am sorry. You do not read Japanese. Forgive me. She writes, to the first served.
Who's that?
Me. To the first served during the bells this evening.
I don't get it.
An Ainu woman of her breeding would always serve her husband first, no matter how important or how numerous the guests.
And didn't she?
This afternoon, when she served tea, twice she served me ahead of Tisdale. First with tea, then with little cakes. That is what she means by to the first served.
And the bell.
She wants me to come to her tonight, while the Reverend Tisdale conducts what he calls his prayer meeting. This is Tisdale. Let me in, please. I am alone.
So, you have come.
Yes. Is he at church?
Yes, come in, please.
I prostrate myself to your beauty and elegance.
Let us ignore manners and graciousness, Mr. Moto. The understanding of my message came to you.
With great clarity.
3 times I have prevented things from happening, while only hell could imitate the heat of my hate for this.
I understand.
I could not possibly betray my husband to a white barbarian. You are Japanese. You have been sent to me by Tao. Some of us look for the way in opium, some in whiskey, some in love, some in your God. The bell has stopped. It is a sign, Mr. Moto.
Most honorable lady, your elegance is beyond statement, but the matter is so very, very urgent. May I humbly beg you to proceed?
The soul of Commander Freier has fled his body.
When?
The Tisdale exposed him to a lamp of the sun until he was the color of boiling blood.
How horrible.
It is better this way. His agony was of the crashing of waves. A servant of my husband killed him in the hills.
Did the commander give your husband any information?
About a weapon, yes. About a thing called 77. A bullet that flies beneath the water.
What sort of information? Please hurry, honorable lady. This is of desperate urgency.
A series of numbers and a drawing of a crystal.
Where is it now?
The Tisdale carries it upon his revolting body. But tomorrow night,
Yes?
the drawing will be given to a man named Kavlas.
Kavalas.
A Russian from Vladivostok.
Where?
In the cafe of the Grinning Buddha and feet of the blossoming Shalimar.
May Tao shower on you 1,000 blessings.
Mr. Moto, I ask only one thing.
It is granted.
I am a daughter of the House of Tang, the most glorious name in Ainu history. When I saw what the Tisdale meant to do to my people, I married him. I fight him constantly. If he knows I have betrayed him, he will kill me. Then my usefulness to my people will end.
I give you my word that you will be protected. Captain Stanley, I want you to send 20 men down to the Grinning Buddha Cafe and arrest Tisdale at once. You and I will accompany them.
Right.
Any word of the plane?
Not yet, but Vladivostok is only a 300-mile flight. All the radar stations have been notified. The moment Kavalov lands, he'll be arrested. Every patrol boat in the harbor is standing by.
Excellent. You have told the men that Tisdale is not a minister.
Yes.
Then let us go at once to the Cafe of the Grinning Buddha.
Chodo, I told you not to come here.
Master, Captain Stanley with 20 American sailors left the station 5 minutes ago.
What do you mean?
They're going to arrest you.
Arrest me? They wouldn't dare.
Last evening, Master, your honorable wife entertained the Japanese Mr. Moto.
Chodo, what do you say?
Master, I swear it is true. My brother watched the house while I was in the hills disposing of Commander Freier. When I came back, he told me. Moto talked to her during the prayer meeting. My brother saw him come and go.
You mean Tatawa told him?
Yes, Master. And he must leave at once. They will be here any moment.
Has Kavalov landed?
Not yet. The boat is waiting to meet the seaplane.
Take this paper. Go out in the boat and give it to Kavalov. When you have delivered it safely into his hands, come to the cave in the hills beside the Jasmine Bridge. Tatawa and I will meet you there.
Leave her, Master. She is against us.
That is why I shall take her with me.
Hurry, then. When you are not here, they will go at once to the mission.
Get that paper to Kavalov. I will collect my erring wife. You will meet us at the cave. They could look for 100 years and not find us in those hills.
I cannot understand it, Captain Stanley. Tisdale has obviously left in a hurry. But somewhere in this mission, that woman would leave me a clue.
Mr. Lawson searched the house thoroughly. There was nothing.
And somewhere in this chapel, we will find something. I know it.
Mr. Moto, Captain Stanley, come here quickly.
Ah.
Over here at the organ. I'm not turned on. I just noticed it. Look, 4 matches laid on the keys.
I knew it. I knew she would try to leave me a message.
What is it?
Wait, Captain Stanley. Don't touch the matches. A crucifix on top of the organ and 4 matches on the keys. And let me think.
I don't get it.
Matches on the key B, D, G, and E. B, D, G, E. Bridge, of course. She left the motor of the organ running and spelled out the word bridge.
Yeah, but what bridge?
Let me think.
Well, how does the crucifix work in?
Not a crucifix, Mr. Lawson. A cross. Across a bridge. What's that? There, on the floor.
Why, it's a flower.
A jasmine blossom. Across the Jasmine Bridge, Captain Stanley.
I think you've got something. There are caves up there, a lot of them. The bridge crosses a gorge and leads to a pass up the mountain of Yamada.
Knew she would do it. Hurry, Captain Stanley. Collect your men. We must go at once across the Jasmine Bridge. Captain Stanley, wait.
What?
Up the mountain there. No. To the right.
It has a light.
Yes. Your binoculars, please.
Yeah, here.
A lantern in front of a rock.
What a woman. Jasmine blossoms at every turn in the path. Now a lantern.
They are up there in one of the caves. The lantern is sitting from Tisdale by the rock. Give me your revolver, Captain.
Look, Mr. Moto,
Please, do as I say. The men are spread out too much. Get them together, and as quietly as it is possible for 20 American sailors to move, have them approach that cave. I will go in first.
No, Tisdale can have machine guns, rifles. Those caves are
Please,
big.
please. Mrs. Tisdale is a brave woman. I promise to protect her. Tisdale is capable of murdering her if he is cornered. Now, give me your whistle.
I can't let you risk this.
Please, your whistle. Assemble the men as quietly as possible. And above all, even if you hear shots, do not come into that cave until I blow this whistle.
Katawa, you have sinned against your husband. Sinned deeply. But as a man of God, I have decided to forgive you. Come here.
No.
You are more like an idol than a woman. You are very beautiful, and I love you very much. Even though you are a heathen native.
Native? My ancestors were carving jade when yours were cutting off each other's scalps with tomahawks. In 5 languages, I read and write. I read your Karl Marx in German before you read it in English. Native, heathen.
I love you when you're excited.
You are a monster of vulgarity and conceit. Yes, I betrayed you. And I've betrayed you before.
Look, Katawa, I can't play cat and mouse all night. Now, let's be friendly, shall we?
I despair.
We're alone in this cave, and I'm your husband.
I retch with disgust in your presence.
I don't want to be brutal, Katawa.
Brutal? The brute is all you know.
Come here.
Carry your stick. I give it to you.
You little tigress.
Don't touch me. Let me go.
You're so beautiful, Katawa. I love you.
You eat some trash heap.
That rosebud mouth to kiss it. Bite me, will you? Then we'll play it our way.
You pig. You monster of evil.
You want to fight, we'll fight.
No.
You need a lesson, my little beauty, and now you're going to get it.
No. No, please, in the name of God, I implore you not to.
You little...
Oh, Mr. Moto, thanks God. Oh.
Mr. Moto, you have come...
Tisdale?
I have suspected for some time that Katawa and Choto were plotting against... well, Mr. Moto, it is...
Kill him. Only death can stop the vastness of his evil. Shoot him, Mr. Moto, now.
Moto, I can explain everything. Please, now, put that gun down.
Havelock and Choto have been arrested. A patrol boat got to the seaplane the moment it landed.
Moto, please, no, please now. Let me explain what has happened.
Tisdale, you were betrayed by the symbol you defiled. By a cross in your own chapel.
Kill him, Mr. Moto. If you do not, he will talk himself free. He has done it before. I beg of you, Mr. Moto, listen to me. Look at me. I swear this man is a devil. He will get away unless you... Mr. Moto, look out. He has got a rock. Watch out.
Stop it, Tisdale.
There's no chap living at this...
I am sorry. I think you killed.
What has killed you? He has killed before.
Mrs. Tisdale, there are American sailors outside. Your clothes are torn. Please, would my coat save you embarrassment?
To cover my uncleanliness. To have been what I have been to a man who called himself a man of God.
He was not a man of God. He was a man of the devil. The Red Devil.
You have just heard the world's greatest international secret agent, Mr. I.A. Moto. James Monk stars as Mr. Moto. The script was written and directed by Harry W. Junkin, produced by Carol Irwin. Members of the cast were Bill Smith, Connie Lemke, Bill Lipton, Scott Tennyson, and Ian Martin. The music was transcribed. This is Fred Collins speaking, and here with a preview of next week's story is Mr. I.A. Moto.
Thank you. A story of danger and a fight against the unknown. A search for the unsuspected man engaged in sabotage. And now, may the stars of night watch over your peace and repose. May your dreams be radiant with moonglow, shimmering with enchantment. Good night.
It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC.
Welcome back. Well, a tad melodramatic and maybe a little bit confusing when you get right down to it. But every program is entitled to an off day, so hopefully we'll have something better next week. Well, we do turn to some listener comments and feedback. Michael has a question. I'm guessing the tape dragnet shows, they taped dragnet shows as opposed to live audience. If this is accurate, how long did it take them to tape the show? What studio did they usually use? Thanks for the question, Michael. Some of these I don't have firm answers on, but we do have some information. First of all, Dragnet was actually, if not recorded before a live audience, it was recorded live. And up till 1951, when the TV version launched, and so that would have been recorded at NBC Studios at that point. In terms of where they recorded the transcripted ones, I would probably guess at the lot where the Dragnet TV programs were filmed, out at the Buena Vista lot that Webb specifically had built and designed for the programs. And at that time, Webb was putting out an incredible number of programs. On average, he was doing 39 television episodes. Plus most seasons, there was one season they took a summer break, but most seasons he was doing 52 radio episodes. And there were movie projects. Really would not want to go down to NBC Studios. So I think common sense would suggest that they went ahead and they recorded the radio programs where they recorded the television shows. In terms of how long the radio programs took, what we've been able to find from research was that Webb did not have time for rehearsal. The programs were recorded as time went. Were recorded really in more of a reading style with very few rehearsals. So these were not jobs that took a long time. Even the television episodes only took a day and a half, with no rehearsals for radio, and allowing for some mistakes. I think if I were to guess, I'd say probably an hour or two, based on the information I've been able to garner. So I hope that helps, Michael. And of course, that doesn't include all the time that work was done on the program, just because, writing, etc., all that does take time. But for radio, it was never, as complicated as television without that visual format, and even without Webb's insistence on a more minimalistic approach. Radio actors frequently, would do 10 or 11 shows a week. So it would not be a long process. So I hope that helps, and I hope that the guess is based on the information I have found. is not far off the mark. So if anyone has additional thoughts, I'd love to hear about it. All right. Well, we will be back on Wednesday when we'll continue with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Join us next Tuesday for another episode of Mr. Moto. And thanks so much for your support for the last 1,000 episodes, and we'll look forward to even better things to come in our next 1,000. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Be sure to listen later on today for our 1,000th episode special.